Next on this 4 months of Oscar segment, this month focusing on winners of Best Actor and also being the great month of Black History Month, which should be celebrated every month. Come on. We're talking about Will Smith's Oscar-winning performance in King Richard, released by Westbrook Studios, distributed by Warner Brothers. It is the biographical sports movie take on not just the all-star champion tennis athletes Venus and Serena Williams, but the upbringing of the young, potential, and talent-driven athletes by their father, Richard Williams, played by Smith. Okay, folks, let's get into this. I don't know what we all don't know, if this will be Will Smith's only Oscar-winning performance, because, yeah, we all know what transpired that lovely night of the Oscars 2022, don't we? I actually did not watch the Oscars that year and did not find out what happened until the fact, and I remember being dumbfounded because you're telling me that one of the greatest movie stars of all time, been nominated for an Oscar 2 times previously, been well loved and respected, been an inspiration for so many young black artists for years, won a well-deserved Oscar that night, but also slapped Chris Rock across the face for making a stupid joke about his wife's questionable alopecia, which obviously inspired her shaved head. I say questionable just because the studies have shown she might not even have it, and then kept making the night even more uncomfortable by yelling the ever so virally iconic phrase,
"Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!"
2 times? And thus making such a scene and leaving a bad taste in people's mouths? Is that what you're telling me? Whether Chris Rock deserved it or not, let me just say this one thing, folks, then we can move on. That is surely not the way to handle such a thing. Me speaking as an artist myself, Will Smith surely watched enough mob movies to understand that if you're really offended in public, smile and nod, and then take the fuck down behind closed doors. Not violently, of course, but handle such a thing with class, like a real gentleman. Because all eyes are on you, and obviously that only teaches kids violence fixes things, which is not how it should be, right guys? All that being said, when we push aside that crazy night in action and bittersweet Oscar acceptance speech from Will Smith, let's just focus on the movie and performance itself, which in all honesty is a fantastic leading performance, which if Will Smith hadn't done what he did on Oscar night, I would have been absolutely happy when he earned that Oscar and gave his speech, even though I personally wanted Andrew Garfield to receive it for Tick, Tick, Boom. Apparently, Will Smith had been wanting to do a project about Richard Williams and his daughters, Venus and Serena, for some time. He signed on for a finalized script written by production assistant Zach Balin back in 2019. For it being his first screenplay, it really is well written. Will received $40 million for his work on the film, being a co-producer as well. But classic Will Smith, he divided his earnings amongst his fellow actors as a bonus, as the film was released in films and on HBO Max simultaneously. Principal photography took over in January 2020, and yep, we know what happened just 2 months later, don't we? Filming halted for a month, and back to small-scale second unit shooting, and a slow build-up to shooting with the COVID guidelines obviously in play. Clocking in at 2 hours and 24 minutes. Yeah, you can definitely feel it at times. However, if you're a fan of sports films like I am, you definitely get into the action of the tennis matches. SANIYYA, SIDNEY, and DEMI Singleton do wonderfully well as the amazing, groundbreaking athletes, and spoiler alert, and yes, they do spend a bit more time within the story on Venus than with Serena, being a dark horse in the background, since Venus was allowed to play in the championship, but it all works just the same. Speaking of performances, the whole ensemble is wonderful as you would expect. With Aunjanue Ellis-Taylor as Brandy Williams, Queen Brandy if Richard is king. Her Oscar-nominated performance is such a catalyst in this and carries the whole heart forward even more, just as strongly as Will Smith. God, I love every damn scene she's in. She is just there, present, giving it all. It's mesmerizing, not to mention a great supporting turn from Jon Bernthal. As famous coach Rick Massey, Jon Bernthal really gets to show more transformative chops here that you want to see more often from him. It's hard to believe Liev Schreiber was going to play his role. As much as I freaking love Schreiber, Jon Bernthal just kills it as Massey, featuring nice little appearances from so many other supporting players like Tony Goldwyn and Dylan McDermott. It's lovely. Reinaldo Marcus Green directs it very sensitively and with enough grit to get us through the exciting tennis matches, the gut-punching drama, which you almost feel. Will Smith wanted to give it more grit. Some have complained it wasn't gritty enough, so I can imagine that scene where Richard gets the crap kicked out of him just hours before there was a drive-by shooting must have been added by Smith, because Smith is still an actor who wants to do real, sincere drama, to get below the surface. He already excited audiences with his Oscar-nominated turns in Ali and The Pursuit of Happiness, which, if Forrest Whitaker wasn't nominated and didn't do The Last King of Scotland that year, I would have given Whitaker's Oscar to Will for that one easily. However, we can't deny his heartfelt and groundedly sincere portrayal of Richard Williams, the king to tennis and the world's greatest athletes, Venus and Serena Williams, is one to still cherish. If we can all just push aside the stupid move and only look back on the film with fondness. Nominated for a total of 6 Oscars, including Best Supporting Actress for Ellis-Taylor, of course, Best Screenplay, Best Editing, which is real nice, and you always have to have good editing in a sports film. Best Original Song by Beyonce, Be Alive, Best Picture, and obviously winning for Best Actor. This film is a great addition to the world of sports films. All in all, folks, I give King Richard an A-. Sure, some scenes repeat the morals, repeat the motivational mantras over and over and over. And maybe that can be tiresome, but I love that stuff. Like I said, I do enjoy a damn good sports movie because it does bring out the competitive and hardworking spirit in all of us for sure. So tell me, my friends, have you seen King Richard? What do you think of it? Are you still mad at Will Smith for what he did that night? I mean, he's still apparently banned from the Oscars, so what more can happen? And obviously, Jada Pinkett Smith cheated on him with her son's best friend, got entangled. Jesus Christ, please tell me, guys, that's a whole lot of bullshit, right? It's bullshit. But anyway, do you think he deserved the Oscar for it? Let me know in the comments, like and share with all your friends, and be sure to stay tuned for more reviews to come. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, my friends, and remember to keep your head in the game of life.